What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? Your boy Gage is in the building. Sin is in the
Yes,
building,
sir.
and you are now tuned in the Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture. And
Today,
today, Jokes is running a little behind, but he's coming.
hmm
Still, we got to get through the intro. We'll just have to do it without him, right, Sin?
that's right.
That's right. So, Sin's got a job to do. He'll take care of Joke's job because Joke's not here to do it. Get the
Take
Beacons
care
link
of.
up.
Yep.
You all know what to do. Hit the Beacons link. Follow us across social media everywhere we are. One of the best ways to keep up with us because we do stay pretty busy. Um, and then, Sin, you have your own job to do.
Yes, and let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Particular Skin, Alex Lee, Ellis Mbe, and Kermit Ferguson. Thank you very much. We truly appreciate it.
Indeed, we do. If you have the cash flow available, we greatly appreciate your support on Patreon. Helps us keep doing what we're doing, and make some of these moves we're making. Having said that, boy, the news today.
Okay.
Um, man, the last couple of weeks, I feel like, I mean, I guess especially following like Summer Game Fest, the shows have been very video game heavy.
hmm
There's been a lot happening in that space. And the last couple of weeks, it feels like it's been very Xbox focused. There's been a lot of news around them and what they're doing and just some of the announcements and things like that they're making. Today is no exception, the good and the bad. So there was an announcement today that Microsoft is cutting thousands of jobs on the game side of things from Xbox. As a way, apparently they've been really pushing Xbox to, trim the fat right after the $69 billion acquisition and show more profit margin, based on that spending. And so, what it comes down to right now is, at least the way that they're phrasing it, which is probably basically true, is that they have a lot of redundancies they need to remove, right? Meaning that you now own all these different companies, but they're all under one banner, and you have people who do a job at one company, and now you have another person that also did that same job at another company, and somebody at another company who did that same job. And so again, you have this redundancy where you have multiple people in positions that, unfortunately, it's like, maybe in some way, what do we need all of you for? Does that make
hmm
sense then?
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Um, I'm hearing a lot of pushback, right? Like, I get it. It sucks to have a company come in, make an acquisition like this, um, that is so many businesses and so many jobs. What's up, Zay? And then, you know, have them more or less trim the fat, right? And you might end up at the chopping block, even if you've been at a company for 20 plus
Yeah,
years,
yeah.
right? You could end up, as the person who they're like, well, we don't really need you.
And you
We
got to
have
think
somebody.
they're making an acquisition, getting all this money and all this good stuff is happening. A lot of them probably think, "Oh, we're straight, like with our jobs, all that kind of stuff is going to go on for a while, and all that, all those good things." But then something like this happens where it makes sense. Though, unfortunately, like the redundancy thing that you're saying, like, fortunately, that stuff's going to carry over, and some people are just going to have to get chopped. Unfortunately,
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been a year
yeah,
point since the acquisition went through officially, I think. And so, maybe you saw it coming, maybe you didn't. I think the biggest problem with stuff like this is that it tends to happen to the people who are losing their jobs without any real heads up,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no, like, you don't necessarily see that the writing's on the wall. You certainly aren't looking at their financials and going, oh no, they're hurting, right? They're
Right.
putting
Yeah.
dollars, you know what I mean, on the block. And so you kind of have to look at it and go, all right, well then, if you look at Microsoft as a corporation, in terms of answering to your shareholders, are their shares going up? Because if their shares aren't going up, then something else has to give, right? So even if they're putting dollars on the plate, if the shareholders are like, yeah, but my I'm not making any money, you know what I mean? Like I'm not seeing anything from the money you spent because there's not enough money coming in for
Right.
my profit to go up, right? Um, I just been kind of reading a lot about it, and yeah, it is super unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of it.
100%.
I hope anybody who's going to end up getting laid off, whatever, manages to land on their feet or has maybe a decent nest egg, or like, I'm positive they'll find, something somewhere else. But, I'm hearing a lot of people who are like, a company shouldn't be able to do that. They shouldn't be able to come in and like buy a corporation and then just be like, oh, but we have people that do that already, so we don't need these people, and just remove people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what the point of a severance package is. But also, like, you almost have to look at it like, Sin, if I told you I got a property next door to me that costs $500,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you, cool, I mean, $500,000 for a house, that's pretty good these days where we live, right?
Right.
And I'm like, comes fully furnished, right?
Okay.
You already have a house,
Okay.
right? And you have additional furniture like that you're not using. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. If the house comes fully furnished, what do you do with the furniture? If you already have furniture?
Throw it on marketplace. Get rid of
Right?
it. Sell it. Yeah.
It goes into the job market. Like, it's redundant, right?
Yeah.
You already got frames, beds, you already got couches, sofas. Even if you're like, I'm just going to use it as a rental property to make more money.
Yeah.
What's up, Kai?
You still have all this excess furniture. Yeah.
It's a redundancy. And that's basically what happens, right? When something like this. You would think, though, to some extent, it's like, all right, well, we're Microsoft and we have this company that has a person who handles this thing. And at Activision, they own this developer that has a person that does this thing, right? And they do it specifically for that developer, right? Now, does that mean you're removing a redundancy and now you're giving more work to another person? And now that person has to handle it for more, you know what I mean? Like, it's, it's that kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
And what I've realized recently is that Microsoft has a tendency, I don't think it's new, but they have a tendency to announce the good with the bad. Right? So even though they're announcing like, we gotta lay some people off, whatever. And technically, that wasn't them that announced that. Somebody blew the whistle. You know what I'm saying? Somebody somewhere talked to somebody off the record, didn't want to be named, but they're like, hey, this is what they plan to do. They can start cutting jobs. So realistically, they come out today. We heard the rumors over the weekend. We talked about it yesterday, right? Xbox has a Meta Quest VR headset, all their own. What's up, jokes? Right? Which is kind of crazy. And I'll be honest, there was a time we have had conversations where I'm like, Microsoft's not going to make a VR headset. They're going to pay somebody else to do a VR headset and put their name on it. I said that years ago. And when they didn't do it, I was just like, oh, all right, I guess not. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, they'll just make it so other VR headsets work with the Xbox or whatever it is. Now, kind of what it is. Did you look at the information? Did you look up, like,
I didn't get a chance today. It was one of those. It was one of those work days. I didn't get a chance to do nothing at work besides work. That was it.
What about you, Jokes? You had a chance to look at it?
I looked at it like this morning. I had when it went live, I clicked the link to go to it. So I started looking at it a little bit. The biggest thing for me that I saw on it as soon as I went to the page to purchase was the fact that it said limited edition. So that the fact that it seems like this variation of it is not going to be around for a long time. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But other than that, nothing really deep dive that I went into it from that point forward.
Cool. So let's take a look then. Hold on.
I did see it came with a controller. So,
Does come with a limit.
It was like, that's cool.
You're very right. Let's share this. Unveiling the limited edition MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition. So this says, today, in collaboration with Meta, we are excited to announce the launch of the MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition. The MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition limited edition release. That was a lot of editions back to back. The first limited edition ever for Quest is part of our ongoing partnership and celebrates the expansion of Xbox Cloud Gaming beta on MetaQuest headsets. Over the past several years, Xbox has expanded the Xbox Cloud Gaming experience to more places and more players. Since the announcement of the Xbox app on Quest, our goal has been to empower more people to play their favorite games whenever and wherever they want. Today, with the MetaQuest 3S Xbox Edition, we are bringing this vision to life with a new design that celebrates Xbox's iconic aesthetic. So, what's in the bundle? For the first time, we're thrilled to deliver a MetaQuest headset that not only delivers incredible mixed reality experiences, but is also crafted for Xbox fans. This edition is available today for $399.99 USD, and it comes loaded with everything you need to start gaming on a massive virtual display the moment you open the box. The bundle includes 128 gig MetaQuest 3S in Xbox Carbon Black and Velocity Green.
Okay.
Matching Touch Plus controllers and a limited edition Xbox wireless controller. MetaQuest Elite Strap, 3 months of Meta Horizon Plus, and 3 months of Game Pass Ultimate. So I've actually looked at a couple of unboxings. I have.
Did I know this was already out? Okay.
Views. Again, they dropped it today, but they have shipped it to people.
Early, okay.
Look, it's sleek looking. It's basically just a MetaQuest, although the headset itself is different. The strap that's on the back of the regular MetaQuest 3S is like a full, just like an elastic piece. And this actually has hard bands on the side, and then has a strap and an adjustable piece on the back for the back of your head to adjust that with a separate strap on the top.
Good.
So they did adjust that.
Good.
Outside of that, it's basically the exact same thing, just in different colors. The controllers are the same, just a different color. And of course, it comes with an Xbox controller, so you can play the Xbox games that you would stream to the app, which again, obviously those games aren't VR.
Right.
You're just playing your Game Pass games, playing through cloud or whatever. But, you know, you have the ability to make the screen, you know what I'm saying, whatever size. What are your thoughts on this, Jokes?
I think it's cool. You know, just as a partnership with the branding on it, making the Xbox Game Pass library available through it, just as a different experience. Like you said, it's not VR, but just a different way that you would be able to immerse yourself and play these games. And like they said, at this point, everything is turning into an Xbox. So just to make you worry that you can hop on your MetaQuest now and get these Game Pass games. So I think it's cool. Like, as usual, not for everybody. Like, if you're not the type of person that wants a VR headset to do, I think it's a great collaboration to possibly bridge people that are kind of like in between the two zones in there for it. So I think it's cool, just not for everybody.
What about you, Sin?
I kind of like it. I like my MetaQuest, even though I barely use it because it's dated and like anything I want to play on it is just not available for the. We have the original ones, so it's not available for it, stuff
Right.
like that. But
Right.
what I would use it for, like to like sit in a big auditorium or whatever and watch anime and movies and stuff like that. It was a fun, cool experience. So I would honestly, now that I know it's out, I might grab it. Like I don't think $400 is a bad thing to jump in Game Pass on it and play your game is right there. Like I think that's kind of cool. So I might get it. And since I've wanted to update mine, might be the time to go ahead and update it. Yeah,
Good time to do it.
I mean, here's the thing. I never really jumped into VR. I've done some VR. Like, VR was such a hot commodity, right, for a while, where it was like, but you could do it with your phone, right? Like you bought the new Samsung phone, they give you a little headset, you can put your phone in and whatever, right? And so there was some stuff like that. But it's not the same thing as having something like this that also adds in the AR experience, right? With the VR experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have been on the fence about doing a MetaQuest because they dropped the price so much. Like, the MetaQuest itself is $100 cheaper than this is.
Mm-hmm.
It's $299. So if you do the regular MetaQuest, it's $299 now, which really isn't that bad at all.
No.
There are a couple of things that had kept me at one point from doing it. One was, if you remember, we discussed on this show that for a lot of people, they were upset with the idea that Meta was basically saying,
locking
you got to log in.
You don't have a Facebook account.
Yeah, you can do it.
You can't use this, right? And you can't play any of the games or whatever. So if you ever close your Facebook account or ever get rid of it or whatever, now you're out all of these things. And so that was one of the things. That was an issue. Of course, now Meta Ray-Bans, and you really kind of can't use those without an account anyway, right? At the same time, 400 is not bad for what this is. If you add in the 3 months of Game Pass and the Meta thing, that's more than a $50. Controllers are certainly more than $50. Limited edition controllers usually is more than that. It's like $70.
Yeah.
So what you're getting in the package, you're probably actually still coming out better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw the controller, but the controller is actually it's pretty dope. Like,
yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah.
The undersides of the analog sticks are green, and then the buttons themselves are black, but the letters inside
the velocity green,
and the triggers are clear.
And under the analog sticks too, like the bottom part that they sit on, the round part that it spins on, those are green too.
Green. Yeah, I said that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but and the triggers are clear, which is cool, right? I'd consider it. You know what I mean? Only because it's a thing I've been looking at, like the X-Real glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking at those recently. They're a relatively decent price for being the thing about those is you can hook them up to anything, right? Like you hook them up to I've actually heard people say that they're having trouble making it work with like a Switch 2, but pretty much anything else that has a USB-C, you can plug it into that and you can just put it up. It's like a 120-inch screen, you know what I mean? But the difference is, if you already wear glasses, you can't really wear glasses with those.
Okay.
You would have to buy. So they do have a thing that you can get prescriptions that's kind of like a set of lenses that attaches to the inside of the glass. They look basically like sunglasses. And you can get those prescription made so you can put those in front of it for when you wear it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot. Like that's
that's
a lot. But like the Quest does come with a separate piece to attach on the inside of the goggles. Yeah. So if you wear glasses, it separates that for you, right? So you can wear your glasses and use it at the same time. I think, in all truth, this is one of those things that, especially in a limited edition run, it kind of just makes sense. Like Game Pass already works on MetaQuest. Like it's already there. All this is really doing is giving you a controller and the console is black. Again, the head strap is a little different. But I think in terms of if you're somebody who owns a MetaQuest and you never really thought about the fact that you can run your Game Pass on it,
I didn't until now, but mine, like I said, is so dated, like it probably couldn't even install on it. Yeah.
maybe, yeah,
Possibly.
like
Yeah.
this is one of those things where it's like, oh snap, I didn't realize I could be running out of the cloud playing my Xbox games on it. Oh, I didn't realize I could just get Game Pass and I could play all of these games in the thing I already own. I think part of the reasoning behind this and the fact that it's limited is for that reason.
Mhm.
It's to get all the people who already have one. And the MetaQuest 3S is not new. So they
Right.
got to be ready to come out with a new unit, right? There's got to be a 4 or something coming,
Mhm.
probably soon. And so to me, it's like, this is kind of brilliant. Because if you're a person who's niche enough that you do have a MetaQuest headset, you maybe weren't even thinking about Xbox, right? You might be
Nope.
a PlayStation person that has a MetaQuest and weren't thinking about Xbox. But seeing this and being like, hold on. What you mean there's an Xbox one? Hold on. What you mean I can already use my Game Pass if I get game? Like, oh,
You
so I
think I
don't
won't be
need.
sitting here playing Grand Theft Auto right now with y'all?
Right now?
100%.
I
Blow the
could
screen up
just
super
get
big around me.
a controller, right?
Yeah.
All I really need to do is buy a controller,
And this comes
and I
with
can
one.
run Game Pass and I can play it. It's already there. So
Mhm.
like, one of the biggest hills I feel like Xbox needs to climb right now is the whole. This is an Xbox campaign.
Mhm.
You kind of have to prove that. You can't just say it.
Say it.
You got to show it to like. You got to make it real to people. And when you start making it real to people that actually already have a thing that is an Xbox, right? Like you're not really convincing them that their phone is already an Xbox or that their laptop is an Xbox, right? You're
Mhm.
convincing them that another hardware piece that you bought
Mhm.
for a game can already do stuff that Xbox does. I think it's brilliant. It's pretty smart. What's up, Doctor Who? You're
Yo,
not
yo.
that late. You just barely after jokes. The Wi-Fi is crappy today. You know what? I'm sorry to hear that because that always sucks when the Wi-Fi ain't good.
Mhm.
Facts.
Wayne Tech tells us all the time, right?
Yes.
Dog smacks.
So yeah, I actually think this is super smart. It just is one of those things where, like, if you're an Xbox person who maybe was on the fence about VR,
Mhm.
and even in some way you're like, why would I buy a PlayStation 5 and a PSVR 2 and spend $1,000 to do that?
True.
I already have an Xbox. I have Game Pass. Oh, I
Just
can
for
get this. I
400.
can put
Easy.
Game Pass
Mhm.
on this. Like,
Mhm.
here's the thing. I'm literally watching people when I'm watching the reviews. I'm watching
Mhm.
people like, he's like, look. I'm listening to the dude. He's like, look at this massive screen, right? And he's showing it. I'm like, that joint don't even really look big, right?
Right.
But then he grabs the corner of it and he just extends it out, and the joint gets
It
way
is big,
bigger.
way bigger.
Mhm.
And he goes, that's gotta be 120 inches. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, there's no way that's 120 inch screen. But then he says, it makes my 77-inch, which, like, he had the joint on the screen, like above his, like over top
Other
of his
time.
TV
Mhm.
wall. He was like, it makes my 77-inch look small. I'm like, dog, that's a 77-inch?
Okay, so you might be right on that 100. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big old screen, right? And then, like, in comparison to even other stuff I've looked at with, like, doing AR, where it's like, yeah, the joint is in front of you, and when you look around, you can still see stuff on the other side of it. This joint gives you the option to fix the screen in one place, so you can fix it on the wall and then walk around the room like
Mhm.
it's an actual TV in. Or, what's up, Heather? Or you can have it move with you as you turn your head and look. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Kind of fly.
Mhm.
It's kind of cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think it's smart, and I think taking a limited edition thing and sending them out to people and letting people review them and put it in front of people and show people how it works and what it looks like or whatever is also just a really good way to kind of get ahead of it, right? Which I'm positive is why it leaked, because people had to have gotten them over the weekend and were told they can't talk about it.
Can't talk about it, right?
Right? So I'm sure that's how it leaked, because it leaked like Saturday, and there were pictures of the box of the unit. I'm like, well, this joint's clearly
Right, a real thing.
Right.
It's definitely real. And the box is like twice the size of a regular MetaQuest 3 box. It's a giant box.
Because of the controller. Yeah.
Because the controller and because the headset has that extra
strap
has that the solid straps on the side of it. So yeah, I mean, look, I think it's kind of cool. It makes sense, but it does make me wonder what's next. What are we not thinking of that's going to be the next thing that Microsoft does a partnership with?
Handhelds, VR now.
Already doing TVs to get the Xbox app on there. It's like,
will they do a branded Xbox TV?
I thought about that.
I can see a phone before the TV.
Technically,
okay. Yeah. I mean, they did used to.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, but maybe the only thing obviously they could release like a Surface that's like an Xbox Surface that would.
Okay.
I feel like that's right in the wheelhouse for it. Something a little bit.
You're
different.
right. The thing about that is that's already their own thing.
Right. Like,
so while I would be like, I do hear you. Like, I think that would be like if they were to put out like an Xbox colored Surface with like, I don't know, green buttons or something on the keyboard or something like that. Like, it could be.
They might have been green instead of white when you kind of
something like that. Yeah. Otherwise, I think they have hit the main and when they're trying to take over like your living room, your different areas in the house, like I feel like they've already accomplished. The only thing that's missing, which maybe they've taken the step back, was originally releasing their own little like small like a Roku type of thing. But I know with them like partnering with the different to be able to the Fire Stick to be able to download, it's kind of same place where we are with some of the things now. It's like, well, what's the point of us doing our own when we can just, hey, Amazon, let us just put this on the Fire Stick and call it a day. So,
yeah, I mean, look, I think right now, part of the difference is going to be, so speaking specifically of the Fire Stick. So Amazon, I think it's coming like this December, but Amazon is going away from running on Android for the Fire Sticks because people just keep hacking them. So they're actually going to a proprietary chip and a proprietary software. That doesn't mean people aren't going to hack.
I know.
That's what I say.
It'll happen eventually.
Give it a week, it'll be hacked.
But it does mean that they're likely to have more control over it, the same way Nintendo does over the Switch.
Listen, they gonna brick your new Fire Stick.
They're reaching out to Nintendo. Hey, how you do that? Y'all give us some pointers, like so we can shut this down.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If it's their own OS and it's their own proprietary chip, not that it'll make it harder to crack, but it'll mean they'll be able to crack down on it if you do, right? And you'll have to go buy one. Now, there is a part of me that's like, Amazon, at some point, you got to realize that a lot of the money you made and a lot of the reason why those joints sold was because people knew they could jailbreak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At the same time, the whole point in selling hardware like that is so that you can get people in the software and you can run ads, right? You need to be able to make the money off of those for the long term. And if you can't do that, then that destroys your business plan.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like you have to come up with something else. So could I see Microsoft, since they are working on their own chip with AMD, could I see them doing something proprietary of their own that allows them to do something like a Fire Stick but runs that? Then the question is, if you're going to do that, is it worth it for you to do that and sell it as something that, as something that only runs Game Pass? Or does it need to do everything else? Does it have to be able to do YouTube and Amazon Prime and all the other stuff that you can do on an Xbox, you can do on a PC, or you know what I'm saying, whatever? If you do something like that and you make it Windows based, which is basically what they're pushing, right? Is remember that what Sarah Bond said wasn't, we're trying to make Xbox the best place to play.
Windows.
Say we're trying to make Windows the best place to play games. So if you do something like that, it's likely to be Windows based, which means they're gonna hack them, attack that joint.
What?
And they're gonna do whatever they want with it. So it's a dangerous move. Could it affect the way that Game Pass runs on this new proprietary version of a Fire Stick? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean they won't make it work.
True.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it would be a stretch to expect that there'll be like an Apple TV that has it. But I don't necessarily think it would be a stretch for there to be a Roku.
Mhm.
That's an Xbox branded
Xbox.
Roku. Right? Because the Xbox will shell out the money to do a thing with Roku that makes it Xbox branded. They package
Black
it
and
with
green. Hmm.
right. And they package it with a controller. It's still small, goes on this. I mean, Roku has a little small Fire Stick type joints too. But they also have a separate box.
Is Chromecast still a thing?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna say technically, but it's like it's unnecessary because everything is built into the smart
Right.
TV and
Mhm.
everything in the smart TVs is all Android anyway. So like generally speaking now, if you could cast directly to that, you could usually cast directly to the
Mhm.
TV and it wouldn't necessarily benefit you. So while I do believe that there is something you can do as far as that, like I don't know that it's necessary, but I'm not positive that they could do something with them.
Mhm.
I just don't know what else.
Right.
You know, I mean, again, outside of something like a Roku, which I think is universally known widely enough
Hmm.
that if they were to do that and package it with a controller, it could be and put Game Pass in it for 3 months. You know what I'm saying, or something like that. That it could take off. That I could see that being a thing that people are like, we want to do this for the holiday, right?
Mhm.
I do think we're probably going to see TVs for the holiday that are packaged with, 3 months of Game Pass
Yeah.
or something like that. That wouldn't surprise me. Microsoft did announce that they're going to be at Gamescom.
I did see that.
Okay.
I don't know what it means. I don't know what they're going to show, but
Fable, hopefully.
we haven't seen.
We didn't see that this summer yet. I know it's supposed to be, next, but just come on now. I just, it's been forever. We've seen it. Some of it. Like,
It was last year.
we heard about it before that though. Like it's been out there that it's coming and everything. Like that's why I hate getting announcement stuff so early.
So early, yeah.
Yeah, like come on, like.
Well, you know what's crazy about it is, it used to bother me when we got announcements so early and then we didn't have something else coming in the meantime.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right now, what I feel like's been happening is like, yeah, we're getting it. Like we've known about Wolverine for like what, a year now, right? But that's probably not coming until at least next year, probably at the end of the year, if it's coming that soon. But like, there's all this other PlayStation stuff that's coming in the meantime, right? Ghost of Yotei and just whatever. I feel like Microsoft's kind of been on a tear this year just with the stuff that they've released, and so it's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's taken a while, and Fable is a big deal, but I'll be real with you. Fable means so much to me. What's up, Alfonso? That it needs to be
right.
So
yeah, it's got to be right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm just like, you know what, dog? Don't even show it to me until you're ready to give it to me for real. I would much rather, like right now, I feel like Fable is probably holiday next year or something close to that.
Right. Yeah.
And so feeling like that, I'm almost like, don't show this to me until like June next year. Like, don't even. I want to know that like I'm actually close.
I'm getting this in a few months,
right?
Like, yeah, like
I want to see people playing it. I don't really need to see another trailer that's just kind of like,
I don't need to see
you a little bit more, but it's not. Yeah, like it's not ready yet. Don't do that.
I agree with that. Yeah, when you're ready to put it out to the people.
Yeah,
they give me my deep dives and all that kind of stuff.
They're like, what you want? We giving you Grounded 2. You ain't see that coming. I ain't gonna play Grounded 2. You know what I'm saying? Play Ninja Gaiden 4. The other thing they did this week was Xbox insiders are getting the aggregated PC app. I think I sent this to you guys, but I can't remember. But I'm going to read to you what it says. Yesterday, Xbox Insider's aggregated gaming library is coming to the Xbox PC app. Hey, Xbox Insider, starting this week, users enrolled in the PC Gaming Preview can get a first look at the new aggregated gaming library in the Xbox PC app for Windows 11 PCs and handheld devices. The feature will be available this holiday on the ROG Xbox Ally and the ROG Xbox Ally X, where players will see their aggregated gaming library within the new Xbox full screen experience. With this new feature, your Xbox library, hundreds of Game Pass titles, membership required, and all of your installed games from other PC game stores are always at your fingertips. With the aggregated gaming library, players can conveniently launch games from Xbox, Game Pass, Battle.net, and other leading PC storefronts from a single library within the PC app. Whether you're on a Windows PC or a handheld device, your Xbox library, hundreds of Game Pass titles, and all of your installed games from leading PC storefronts will now be at your fingertips. When a player installs a game from a supported PC storefront, it will automatically appear in the My Library section within the Xbox PC app, as well as the most recent list of the titles in the sidebar, making it easier than ever to jump back into your games. And this is just the beginning. We'll continue rolling out support for additional PC storefronts over time. Jokes, what do you think?
I think that's cool. Like, I like being. I think I'm in the PC Insiders one. I think I enrolled in it, just don't pay much attention to it. But just the fact of it being able to access your stuff all in one place from all the different things, like that, honestly, to me, is the one of the biggest selling points right there for it. Because outside of being on the PC, like you don't really have that type of flexibility anywhere else. Like, yeah, you can go to Steam.com from the web browser in your TV, but you ain't gonna be able to play the game from
Steam. Yeah, that's not gonna do you any good. What was that last comment?
It was one that Cuddy had put up. Give me a second. Boom. Talking about Fable.
Go ahead, read it.
Said, true, it needs to be right. I was late getting on the OG Xbox, and Fable was the title that got me.
Fair. You're a chicken chaser.
Chicken chaser, I presume.
Yeah.
Andrew, hello, fellas. Hope you're doing your best to stay cool. You know what? Down in the basement where it is very cool. Hope you're doing
upstairs in the hottest room of the house. Yay!
Mark. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, look, I think that again, one of the biggest hurdles to PC gaming is that, you know, obviously most people play the majority of their games on Steam. But there are some places where it's like, if I really want that game, well then yeah, I got to get my game from Battle.net, or I have to do it's an EA game, so I got to go through Origin, or it's Epic, so I got to go through the Epic Game Store, and so I have to launch their launcher before I can even see my game so that I can play my game, kind of thing, right? And that's super annoying because it's almost like having a console that's all on one thing where you still have to load into that thing before you can get to it. So the idea of anybody stepping up and making it easy to access everything all at once without making it so that you're picking one over the other or whatever. Like, they're not saying right now you can buy your games through that access. They're saying you can see them, you can access them, right? And so you're not really, I think that's the biggest thing for people, right? They want you in their storefront so that you're in their ecosystem, so you can buy more stuff from them, because in a lot of cases, like Steam and like Epic, the same games are available in both. And depending on which one you buy from, that money goes, you know, to that storefront. So without like really stepping on toes, just being like, you can see it all here and you can launch it all from here. Not necessarily you can buy it here, but you do need to understand that like there are cases where Microsoft is going to be selling versions of their own stuff, PC versions of games that are in Game Pass or whatever it is that you're going to have access to that might ape some of that, but like it's all on Windows and you don't really have a choice anyway.
True.
You kind of stuck with it. So I think this just kind of falls in line with what they're saying, what they announced a couple of weeks ago in terms of like, hey, we're trying to make it so whatever you own, you can play it wherever.
Play it anywhere, yeah.
In order to do that, Xbox is the way to do it. Windows is the place to do it. Xbox is the way to do it. Windows is the place to do it.
Again, we're making Windows the best place to game.
Yeah, that's really what it's coming down to, I think. Curveball.
Uh,
Ooh boy. Hey Sin.
What?
hey, yo, hey, listen, that what?
He has two people smile on his face.
Sin, what as a pop culture being, as someone who has consumed all kinds of pop culture
Mhm.
for your entire life,
True.
anime, comic books, just TV,
Movies.
like
Mhm.
everything, right? What are the rules of immortality?
Ooh.
What are the rules of immortality?
Yes. So
Ooh.
let me all right. So like if you are immortal, does that mean you never die of natural causes? But like you can be killed?
For the most part, yes.
Okay.
You could be, and I think you can even throw in, you could possibly be beheaded and killed that way, depending on the rules of whatever universe you're in.
That's what
That
I'm
was
asking.
that.
I'm asking, what are the rules?
What is the rules? Because
Let's make up some definitive rules for immortality right here, right now. What are the rules of immortality? Now, do
Read
you
the first
age?
one. You can be killed, but like yes, you're not going to die of old age
All
or
right.
anything like that. Yeah, so I can agree behind
Jokes,
that
do
one.
you agree? You can't die. You can't die of old age. You can't get sick and die. You
I
can't
definitely
whatever.
think, yeah, I definitely think that should be in there.
You will live forever if nothing happens to you. But if you get hit by a bus,
Splat.
And see, it's hard to even say that because because of between different shows and movies, that kind of goes out the window because
that's why I'm asking.
Yep.
That's why I'm asking.
And I'm kind of in the place where immortality is like you have the ability to like heal at the same time. Like I would say,
Chat sound off. I want to know. Just
go for
I
it.
want the chat to
I'm
sound
eager
off.
too. Like, I'm trying to think of a couple of comparisons to do. Hey, hey, Sin, you would know this one. Well, maybe. Dragon Ball Z. Remember Garlic Jr.?
He was more so in Dragon Ball and not Z.
So little dude became the giant.
Right.
So he had the movie, the Dragon Ball Z movie, where he wished and got immortality. And when he did it, it didn't matter what type of damage he took or what they did to him. He either healed or it just didn't affect him. The reason why they had to throw him into the dead zone was because they could not. It didn't matter if you. There was no way to kill him. He healed. He did all that for it. So when I think immortality, I kind of think like that because that's just the representation that I've seen in multiple.
As I'm sitting there thinking, immortality, like you can't. There's a way. It's a specific rule to how they're supposed to be able to be killed. I don't think they're sick. You can't be sick. I think if you get shot, you can't die.
I feel like it's like magic. I feel like magic is like the undoer piece of it. Like I think that's the only
somebody
way.
could magically make you mortal.
Something, or even kill you. Like I feel like the magic can just undo it. I feel like that's the only.
All right, my man, the Immortal, right in Invincible, clip my man's whole head off. He don't die.
Don't die. Don't let his body get back together because that's what it just
keep him separated.
It takes time. It takes time.
But he won't but he always like he comes back.
And you know what? Like, Deadpool's almost the exact same way. Almost.
Yeah,
I say almost.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's again, you're not impervious. You're immortal. So you can get hurt.
You can look at Muzan too, jokes from Demon Slayer. You know what I'm saying? Like in the last season, they pretty much blew him apart, head and everything, and it did not work. And they were like, okay, we're screwed now because that's the only way we know of to kill demons. And that didn't do it. So with that price, probably when sunlight that actually kills him when the time comes.
He had multiple hearts. So that was another thing that kept him going. So it's like if you took out one heart, it didn't make a difference because he has like 6 of them or something like that.
Yeah, but that's like an earthworm. Earthworm's got like 5 hearts. I'm just saying, like, so all All right, let's make our own rules. What are the rules right now? Can
Okay.
you
Sickness
if
can't
you're
kill you.
immortal, can't die from sickness?
Can't
Sickness,
die from
old
sickness.
age, none of that. You can't die from the
Yeah.
typical life. I think that's the way you say it. The
Can't
normal.
die from life. Is that what you said?
Just regular
Die
life.
from life.
You can't
You-
die from damage of any kind.
Okay.
Yeah, so falling off
So
a
no matter
building,
how bad the damage is,
you just put yourself back together. You don't die from it.
Kano shows up, puts his fist in your heart, in your chest, takes your heart out.
You regenerating a new heart.
Yeah,
Is
pretty
that
much.
what, is that you regenerate a new heart?
It might take him a
Take
couple
your heart and
minutes,
put it
but
back in your chest, like your body won't decompose, so you can be put out of commission, maybe,
Yeah.
right? Like if
probably
they,
for a minute or so. Yeah,
I feel like recovery. I feel like it's just going to be incorporated recovery time. Like I feel like it's not going to be like an instantaneous thing. You know what? You get impaled or whatever. You're going to feel it, but you know in the back of your mind it's going to take you a little bit of time, but you're going to heal regardless of it. Maybe like
A. Robert Dean says, you stop aging, or you age at such a slow rate that you don't appear to age to normals. I mean, sure, that's very vampire-like, right? Like in vampire lore, technically, you become immortal because you die. Like they kill you, but then whatever age you are when they killed you is what age you stay for the rest of eternity. Right? Like you stay. If you were 14 when they got you, then
you're just a 14-year-old vampire. Yeah.
Right. J. Robert Dean says regeneration unless your head is separated from your body. Now again, that doesn't work on Immortal from Invincible. They separated his head.
Well, moves on.
And like again, like Deadpool's healing factor in the Marvel Zombies, they kept allowing him. The zombies were keeping him alive. They chained him and hung him upside down, and they just kept coming in and eating his brains, and then letting his brains grow back. So they had an infinite supply
of food. Yeah,
of food. He could feel it. It was terrible, but he just kept regenerating his brain, and so they just kept doing it. But I'm okay. I'm with the idea that like if you can decapitate them, they're no longer like. Here's the thing: if you get decapitated, both your body and your head technically still operate, or no? They're not together, so you can't.
I feel like they would still operate. Yeah, I feel like there was.
Yeah, still operates. Yeah.
You know, the nerve ending is severed from the rest of the body. So like your brain can't make like your hands work.
Right.
When your head's not connected to it. Your brain doesn't have Wi-Fi to your body. However, you can talk, you can think. You know what I mean? Like you basically be like one of them joints in Futurama, like a head in a glass jar joint.
Hey, body, get over here.
Trying to talk.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So immortal again doesn't mean indestructible.
No. Which means you can't die from, getting shot, stabbed, none of that stuff. Yeah.
You don't age.
I
think you don't age. So I feel like if you can age, eventually you're gonna die.
Old age is gonna get you, yeah, eventually. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because like your cells have to consistently have to start getting older and like fail at replicating themselves. And if you're immortal, then they have to be like, as that happens, that's how your body breaks down. You eventually die, right? So like they have to be able to regenerate like perfectly for the rest of time at whatever age you are. So like it might suck to be like 70 and already in pain and already whatever.
Mm.
Then you become immortal. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, like it might, depending on the circumstances,
did this when I
and
was
how
in
it
my 30s.
happened. You know, like if your mutant power didn't kick in till you was like 70, and then all of a sudden you was like, well, I'm immortal. Let's see. Captain Jack Harkness from Doctor Who is an example of immortal. What are the rules around it though? Like, how can they or not kill him? I'm unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, unlike Doctor Who, who's in our chat, I don't Doctor Who. But I mean, I think the rules.
I was looking at one of the characters he was talking about. I thought that's what he was talking about, Malcolm Merlin.
Yeah. So, all right. You don't age.
Got it.
We're making the rule, right? You don't age.
Right.
If you get decapitated, you're still alive.
I think you're still alive.
Okay.
Just pick it up and put it back on.
Somebody puts a shotgun to your chest, blows your heart and your lungs out.
Nice try, buddy.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll be good.
Nice try, buddy. Give me 15 seconds. I'll be back.
Well, does your head have to be connected to your body for you to heal?
Nope.
I don't think so.
All right. So hold on. So then if you sever the head, does the head grow a new body or does the body grow a new head? Are there two of you now? How does that work?
No, I think they just find each other and just get up and put it back on. Keep it pushing.
If it be anything, I think the head will grow the new body. I don't think the body will grow the new head. And then
so disturbing looking. The head growing a little body under that'd be so disgusting.
Listen, the body just wanders. The other half of the body just wanders for
so disturbing.
All eternity now.
We might have to have some regular discussions about how powers should and shouldn't work here. I think that
just makes it tricky because everybody has their own rules and their own different, worlds and stuff like that. So be fun, tricky but fun.
I agree. I mean, but somebody has to make the definitive decisions. There are some things that just are what they are no matter what. And then there are rules like that. Like immortality is one of those ones where it's like, all right, well, what does that mean? I personally think the Speed Force is the dumbest way for somebody to be fat. I think that's
a rainbow thunderstorm.
I think that's terrible.
Unless you're a speedster.
I think that's terrible. I hate that. I really do. I hate it. Tap into the go fast. What?
Right.
What?
The Speed Force.
What?
Yeah, it is kind of corny.
No, it's not kind of corny. That's dumb. But it is what it is. Sin.
Yo.
Netflix got a new movie.
They do.
K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yes.
Let's talk about it. Jokes, I know you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't taken a chance to watch it yet.
Okay.
Sin, you just watched it?
Right before we started, I just finished it.
You did finish it.
I did finish it, yes.
All right, give me your thoughts.
This movie should not be this damn good. That's my initial thought. Like I'm watching it. Like first off, as soon as the music started, I'm in here rocking. Like okay, I'm pretty sure I know B said the music was rocking, but it's a K-pop thing, so I'm sure that's gonna be a thing, right? But no, that was really like cranking the whole time. Like it's pretty much like a animated musical for the most part. You know what I mean? So,
it is.
Yeah,
like most animated movies are, like they sing songs and stuff like that. It makes sense.
I thought it was a great, fun look into like the world of K-pop for people who may not understand.
Definitely.
Like it's a fun entry like level to it because the whole Demon Hunter thing, it's cool. You see how the fans react and how the crowd react and how they react to everything and compete with different idols and everything. It was a lot more fun and it was a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. I laughed like damn near the whole time. Their facial expressions were on point. It was well animated. It was beautifully animated.
Super anime.
Yeah.
Like facial reactions to certain things that were almost like 2D. Mm-hmm. Like the way that their faces would get sometimes when they react to something would be almost like a 2D joint. Yeah.
Yeah, I did not think it was going to be. Honestly, I can't wait. Like, this is really good. I did not expect that coming into this movie. I thought it was going to be a cheap little fun ride or whatever. But not like the further I got into, like the story was hitting, the relationships were hitting, the whole 9 I'm like, no, y'all really trying to tug at my heartstrings right here. I'm not here for this right now. Like,
They
y'all
was
not
trying to
playing.
get you.
Yeah.
They was sing. The songs was on point for what was going
fire.
on.
Yeah, fire. Halfway through, I stopped for a second, just went to Spotify, just said add the playlist. Just
add playlist.
Add the soundtrack, dog. Just add it right now. I'll be driving to this in the morning.
I'm gonna just tell you right now, man.
Zayna.
I might tune in tonight if I'm not too tired.
I'm saying this. Treat yourself. I was seeing you all through it, like, yeah, like
I'm trying to tell you.
This thing is fire.
Here's the thing. This is what's gonna happen to you, Zayna. You're literally gonna be like, why they coming for me like that? It's gonna be moments that you're gonna be like, why they coming for me like that? I feel like they do such a good job of showing like what it is to be an idol in some way. Like the fact that for those who are unfamiliar, haven't seen or haven't heard of it, K-pop Demon Hunters is basically, the story is that all throughout time, there have been trios of singers who their specific vocal ability helps to create the barrier that keeps demons out of the real world. And so that's showing them go throughout the times. So like in the beginning of the movie, they actually show like in different time periods, different types of singers throughout time, and then like kind of passing it down to the next trio and then passing it to the next trio in order to save the Hun Moon, which is basically like keeping the barrier so that everyone is safe. And so the most current trio of singers is a K-pop group. And bruh, when they on that plane in the beginning of the joint, they hit that takedown joint. I was like, hey, listen.
Fire.
Because here's the thing, right? As a lover of, hold on, this is so my thing, and I'm so protective. I'm a little scared to watch it. Again, like the people who are working on the music, like it's people from Twice. It's like, I actually feel like it does pay a lot of honest to goodness tribute to like what that world is like, to just the way the fans are. Of course, it's caricature, right?
Yeah.
So it's overdone. But I don't know.
Watching all three of them, how they mesh together, and they're like
the concert last night. It's pretty accurate. You know what I mean? And like,
when they introduce him, like this one's the rapper of the group. I'm like, okay, like y'all have y'all different tropes or whatever. Like, okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Which is, again, I mean, having people who are doing that thing and who sing. Also, like the voice acting, like Ken Jeong is in this joint. Like it's pretty dope, and it has some really good like moments in it that are like a little bit unexpected in terms of like what direction the story is going. Once it hits those, it kind of becomes tropey, but it still is really good. Like it's good in terms of like having music that makes you feel good, keeping you in tune with the story. I think that the main characters, a couple things. One, having the three main characters be female, I think is important and is a big deal. They are like fearsome fighters, so they got them hands down demons and like, they ready to go. You know what I'm saying? What are you laughing at, Jokes? What happened?
No, Zayna's last comment.
I don't know. And that's the other thing that got me, is that like the action in it is actually really good.
I see it now.
I'm also a little offended that this is what gets sent into, not my ears are testament. Oh no. Don't let him fool you. He just like side saddle riding with some K-pop joints. It's just that you be mad if my man go sheesh, and then you like, nah, not that. Right. Nana said, I'm on it. I'm trying to tell you, Nana.
Yeah, Zayna, I thought it was dope, sis. Zayna, I really did. I had a great time watching it.
It's Sony Animation, which is like, you know,
no. I don't for this one.
Boys. J. Brown boys, since now he got new. No. He ain't gonna let none of them step on him. They'll whoop him. And he might like that too. I don't know.
I mean, hey, now.
Um, it's Sony Animation, so we're talking the same folks that do like Into the Spider-Verse, the same folks who do like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Like it's quality animation.
It is.
It's really dope. First of all, why are you yelling, Zayna?
I know, right?
Why are you in all caps right now?
I know.
You know,
Good choreography in the action sequences.
There's good choreography in the action sequences, and there's good choreography in the dance sequences. Though. Like it's terrible. And then like the whole like what ends up happening is the demons basically decide that the only way they can beat them is to create their own band. And so they make a boy band. The demons create a boy band.
That was hilarious when they first entered. That was too funny.
Steal their fans, bruh. It's so my man abs, popcorn eyeballs, bruh. Like it's a whole thing.
When it was at the double signing, that was too funny. They did not want to get along with him whatsoever. It's actually really good. And I'll be honest, I was kind of like, it feels like to just see it, and the fact that it's called K-pop Demon Hunters makes it seem like, oh, this is very tropey. Yeah.
Corny or whatever. I think they maybe could have done a better job with the name.
I 100% agree.
But the name is exactly what it is. So it's kind of like, you know exactly what you're getting to that extent. You know what I'm saying? Like
it is K-pop Demon Hunters. That's what it is.
Yeah. And it's weird because even the tropes of like how in K-pop, like idols will train from the time they're children to become and then to kind of take over. That's basically what they do, that they're being trained to hunt and kill demons too. And they don't show a lot of that, but that's the way it works. You know what I mean? And so it's like there's just a lot of those things that technically are real layers of that world that they kind of lay in it. And then the music is good. On top of that, like
I think one of my favorite songs in it, well, all the songs were pretty clean, but I think one of my favorite ones was the one between her and I can't think of the main bad guy, love interest, whatever. When they were walking through the trees, talking, singing to each other, that joint was fire.
Yeah,
that was fire.
It has literally all of the like. This is Disney level, like animated musical, like the way that people love the songs in those. This is but they're K-pop songs instead of being
Disney songs.
Some kind of classic Frozen kind of, whatever. That's
dope.
Yeah. J. Robert Dean says Buffy set in the K-pop world. In a way, you know what I mean? Like in a way, it really is like. In a way, it feels like truthfully taking what I think would be corny if you did it in a Disney film and actually modernizing the music. Like, I think if you took a Disney film and they were to do something and like it was a musical, but they had people rapping, you'd be like, come on, dog.
True.
But because
it is K-pop,
like, that's already kind of a part of K-pop and it's like intermixed in with it, it works. In a way that, to be honest, I really didn't expect it to work. And it just does. And like the moment the beat drops, you're like, oh, all right. It just kind of, and then it just kind of like never really lets go.
Nope.
Joint solid.
I can never say one of my favorite movies of this year, definitely.
Highly recommend. Real talk.
Yeah.
And I'm very surprised.
Yeah, same here. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did watching it. From beginning to end.
I was ready to hate. Like that's kind of where I was. Like I'll be honest, I only really bothered to look into it because it was Sony Animation. I was like, well, they do good work. Let me see. You know what I mean? Let me see what they're doing. So
it was cool at the end during the credits to see them actually in the studio working on the songs and everything. That was cool.
Yeah. Seeing like the actual artists. Yeah.
And like looking at it, I was like, I know which one. I know which each one of the characters y'all are. This one.
The music videos that they have released for it, like on YouTube in the last like day or two, are like those. They're kind of like intermixed.
Oh, from like the movie and
in some cases, not all together. Like it's scenes from the movies. Like they actually do have, like they've released like as a music video, like that whole first song where they're on the airplane in the beginning.
Okay,
that has been released. It's just like, yeah. But yeah,
I like the manager too.
Yo, hilarious, bro. Hilarious, bro. Yeah, it's. I mean, for real, it's good. It's anime tropey. in a good way. Comedy is solid, dialogue is solid, storyline is solid, action is solid, and the music is solid.
Yep.
I don't really know what else you want.
Nope. Highly recommended.
Yeah. Facts. Highly recommended. Now, to go to the total opposite.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Let's go. Hey, let's go.
Predator, killer of killers. Let me tell you something. I can't remember the last time I watched an animated film with action that within like the first 2 minutes on the edge of my seat. Like, let's go. Bruh. This joint just, it does have moments where it slows down when it's necessary. But to be honest, once the murder starts,
all gas, no brakes.
No brakes.
Slim. Period, dog. Like, there's very little dialogue in this movie.
Oh,
there's none in that middle part, probably like whatsoever, but like one line, I think, like from each of the
Don't
characters. It's
really
just,
need it.
No, it's being told through the battle, crystal clearly. So good.
There's a little bit, there's some talking in the beginning to kind of explain where they are and kind of what's going on, which has nothing to do with what it ends up being. And then there's no talking, like, for the most part in the middle, because it's all it's like Japanese, it's very little dialogue there. It's all
just them hands murking.
Yeah, the only one thing I was a little bit disappointed in. It got me so turned up and excited. Like when he first go through the shield, right? Like, okay, there was the shield maiden joint. I was like, okay, right? And I watch Vikings or whatever, so I'm loving the shield maiden thing. I'm like, oh, that's dope that they're highlighting her or whatever. Then the next part, they switched to the Japanese joint. Of course, like, oh, samurais, ninjas, all that stuff. Let's go. Vicious. Hey, look, then we get to the third joint, right? And I see we are now in America. I'm like, which one of our warriors fits in with that? Right, and they called it Bullet. I'm like, oh, somebody gonna have the guns out here. Bet I was hyped, and it turned out to be a pilot. I felt so let down. I was like, come on, dude.
But you know what? Here's the thing. I was let down too until I realized that, like, what I liked about it was that. So, essentially, if you're familiar with Predators as a whole, like the characters, they basically hunt. They are looking for the most fearsome fighters to fight. Like their whole thing is they need to go and defeat the most fearsome fighters,
whoever maybe,
at this conference or whatever. And so, like, you start out in like the Viking era, and you have this woman who is it, bruh. Like, shield maiden,
dual shields,
2 shields.
I was about to ask, any double Glocks in?
Bro, no, double shields,
bro.
With half moon on one end to cut dudes. Ooh, she was a monster,
bro. Hey, dog, when she stuck the shield in between the door and slid under the door, grabbed Slim and suplexed him into the shield that she left in the door and cut his head off, I was like, yes, this is what I came for, and we haven't seen a Predator yet.
Nope. You will. Like, well, you see the invisibleness of them lurking right in the background. Studying what's going on. Yeah,
studying like, oh, okay, this is who I need to fight. The fact that it's like each Predator kind of shows up and attempts to do battle with them, even though they're using like high-tech weaponry to some extent, they attempt to do battle with them the way that they battle, right? And so what I did actually like about the fact that the movie's on Hulu, J. Robert Deans.
Yeah.
The fact that the third act where they show the guy who's the Bullet and he's a pilot, it's a Predator who's a pilot.
I realized that once I saw he worked on planes and I saw the invisible one come in, I was like, okay, he's gonna be going up against a pilot versus pilot type of thing. Okay.
Yeah, it was dope that, like, he's being a better pilot, out shooting them, out maneuvering them, and he's basically taking out the planes. And so it wasn't just like on foot, person for person, but it was showing that like
that Predator pilot is some of the most disrespectful air warfare I've ever seen. Dog, his weaponry was disgusting.
Cheating, dog.
Yes, yes.
Cheating, dog.
I was like, dude, this is not fair, dog, to do to somebody in a plane.
Yeah, and what was happening to them dudes in the air, bro?
Ooh.
That net, dog. Listen,
dog,
let me just tell you.
that joke was trifling. I'm sitting here like, dog, come on.
Yeah, it's. And then at the end, bruh, again, I'm not gonna spoil it, but like basically they would capture it. So basically each one of these people beat a predator. That's basically what it comes down to. And then predators show up at some point. You don't see it happen to them, but they get captured for the most part, right? They get captured and then they take them back to the predator planet.
Oof.
And force them to do a fight to the death, and whoever wins that has to fight like the supreme this giant dude with what I'm gonna call hella dreads. My man had
he was out there. He was in fashion.
Hella dreads.
Yeah. And he basically is like, yeah, y'all fight each other to the death, and then whoever wins this fight get to fight me. You know what I'm saying? And but anyway. You do actually see an Easter egg, sort of if you saw that last Predator movie,
Prey.
In Prey, they have the girl from Prey frozen in one of the joints, and I'm like, oh
yeah, I was like, all right, we need more of these. I need more of these.
I need more, bruh.
The second joint with the samurai, there was one part I thought was so dope when the brothers were fighting, and I don't know if it was like in their temple or whatever, like he was fighting his brother.
Okay,
there was one part where, not the one described, but the other one has to roll away, and he rolls into the armor and puts it on as he rolls through.
Oh yeah, and he's putting the armor on as he's doing it.
I thought that was so clean.
Listen, in my head, I was like, "This is the best fight choreography I have seen in a long time."
That's
like just
so fire.
Yeah, it's so well done. It's so well put together. It's so well thought out that like.
They didn't have to say a word the whole time. It was all being told through the battle. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah, it's that joint again. I'm an action junkie. I'm a kung fu flick. I like my super well thought out and super well choreographed fights, and I don't need them to be visceral. But I'm okay if they are, especially if it makes sense. Like just give me that level of realism in it, and we're good. And this joint does not hold back.
No.
It doesn't disappoint. Like it's
they get sweaty with it.
Man, so dope, bro. It's so dope. Yeah,
Shield Maiden,
100% worth the watch. Yeah, that Shield Maiden joint. I could watch that over and over and over again.
F1.
I mean, Marcus said F1 is a 10 out of 10. You know what, Marcus? I don't know if I'll ever know. I did though consider. I saw McDonald's got F1 vehicles.
Should have picked one up.
I might have to get down. Yeah. You know what? I didn't. F1 wasn't really on my radar. It does look like it's probably good though, so I'll take your word for it that it's 10 out of 10. I can absolutely believe that. I can certainly see that. But I don't know. I don't know why, but for some reason, it's just not like.
It doesn't have that draw for you.
It's just not making my flag wave. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's no air in that sail for whatever reason. Yeah, McDonald's has F1. They have like F1 cups and like little F1 cars that come in like small boxes or whatever that you can get. I saw them today. I saw like a commercial for them today.
Well, Happy Meal type of thing.
Yeah, kind of like a Happy Meal, but not actually a Happy Meal. Like it wasn't a Happy Meal. It was like I think they just have like an F1 meal or something like that you can get, and there's like F1 vehicles that they have. That are there. Yeah, I saw an ad today, like on Instagram or something like that.
Okay.
Watch that joint be like international and not here.
Oh, I don't think it would show me the international joints, although
Dog, I feel like McDonald's
I
don't
do
just
use
be
the VPN
posting.
on my phone, and so it could have been just like, oh, you in Britain right now? But it doesn't. Trust me, because if that joint was showing me McRibs right now, I'd be like, what's up? Because they serve them joints all year round in some places, and I'd be
True.
on it. All right, so look, we're gonna wrap the show up, but before we do that, a couple of things. First and foremost, this weekend, this Saturday, we will be at Power Plant Live hosting Nerdpocalypse for Transcendent Events. So if you're in the Baltimore area, feel free to come through. It starts at about 9:00. Tickets are available now. If you go to Transcendent Events website, or just look up Transcendent Events on Instagram, and you can find them. Check them out, grab tickets, and come and hang out. It is really just an all-day, very nerdy bar crawl. I don't know exactly what we're doing, but if it's anything like what we normally do when we're there, we'll be hosting a video game tournament. We'll be hosting trivia. We will be hosting the Beer Olympics, which is always a good time.
True.
And we probably won't be hosting karaoke, but at least one of us will be participating. Let me just say that. Right, Sin? Getting down?
You? That's all
Huh?
you. That's
No,
all
we're
you.
talking about you.
Come on, you know that ain't happening.
Nah, hey, Jokes, you get down sometimes.
True.
You do.
That dude's a wuss, though.
Yeah, but you know it happens. J. Robert Dean said Kidler and I will be watching the Austrian Grand Prix. Y'all have a great time.
Okay.
Hey, listen, you enjoy that 1,000,000%. Grand Prix, I played it, but I never watch it. I have watched like Le Mans, parts of it. Obviously, it runs for so long that like I watch all of it. But that's cool. That sounds really dope. Please enjoy that. Jokes. When we get our next episode of wrestling, of the Wrestling Chat, the wrestling podcast that is The Finisher.
Latest episode is currently out right now. We have like this episode spiraled a little bit. We had a lot of conversations just because this last week a lot of stuff has happened. The biggest thing on there being the return of Goldberg once again, which we dig into that one because him returning has shuffled some or like pushed some waves and changed things that it's just like, why do we need to do this right now? So yeah, tune in for that conversation because it gets deep.
Sounds like you feel about that the way I feel about Cena coming back.
Cena sucks.
Why are we doing this? That's just kind of where I'm at.
It's farewell tour.
Sure. Fare thee well then. Sin, what's going on with the Loading Snack Anime Chat?
You already know 10 a.m. Thursday that will drop. We dig into some more anime conspiracies this week. That was fun. Learned something new I didn't know that I'm looking forward to in the future. So y'all will see that. We take a quick look at what's coming up on us for the horizon as far as the summer animes and why it's going to be such a stacked season coming up and a bunch more. So look forward to that on Thursday.
Sounds wonderful. Today we get our first 3 episodes of Ironheart. Next week we get the final 3 episodes. So look for us to do a Spoiler Boys on that next week. Andrew says, have a great rest of the week. Stay hydrated this weekend at Nerdpocalypse. 1,000,000%. Someone else will buy our drinks. I swear. We'll make sure that happens. We'll make sure that happens. Thank you, Andrew. Do the same. No matter what you're doing, even if you're inside, stay hydrated. Because as soon as you go outside, it's going to
It's over. Yep.
take all that from you. Yeah.
Like
Trust me, it's like one of the main things that's on my plate where I work because people are outside. It's like a whole, you know what I mean? It's a whole thing. So definitely make sure you're staying hydrated and so forth. Yeah. So look for us to do a Spoiler Boys on Ironheart. And kind of talking about not just what happens with that, but like how we feel about it leading into Fantastic Four in a couple of weeks. And before we get to Fantastic Four, look for our Spoiler Boys on Superman. Right, Sin?
God, I hope this movie is so good. And we just got to hear Sid just say, "Yeah, that movie was actually pretty good." Like,
I
Don't
mean,
hold
look,
your breath. Like
I
we'll
hope it's
see.
good. I mean, yeah, I hope it's good. Like, I want it to be good. Like, I want, truthfully, as the technical kickoff
mhm.
Right. I want it all to go well,
for the
honestly.
DCU.
Yeah.
I don't just want, like, I need this to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
For
I
the
need
for the
this to be,
betterment of what they're trying to do and with the DCEU, get it back on this track and stuff like that. It's for that,
yeah.
yes, I wanted to do well, to be honest. Yes, just because of that. So the future projects can get the treatment they deserve and don't get left on the cutting room floor, or they make something and then put it on the shelf and we're never gonna see it again. Batgirl, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not even just that. I just think as a whole, like where WB is,
Mhm.
I mean, it isn't just WB. It's what's happening with Hollywood and like movies and stuff like that as a whole.
I was actually
Uh,
looking at that over the weekend, J. Robert
Looking at what?
Deans. No, I have
Looking at
not.
what?
Oh, sorry. He asked if I ordered the One Piece Lego kits yet. We were looking at them over the weekend, looking at the prices and all that kind of stuff. So making some decisions. But
Man, you don't even care about that. You just like One Piece Legos, give them to me.
yes,
Yes.
it's official One Piece Legos. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty official.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think, look, with where WB is, I'm concerned that if this movie doesn't do well, there's so much more riding on it than the DCU.
Yeah.
Like if this doesn't really do well, if for some reason this ends up being a problem, then like what does that mean for DC
Yeah.
animated? What does that mean for WB? And
Right.
anything else that WB has ownership of and that kind of thing. Like, you know, it just, you know, Wile E. Coyote movie was done, complete,
Shelf.
and just like, yeah, we out. You know what I mean? And so, you know, if that kind of thing happens with any of the projects that James Gunn is doing with the DCU, it could be much more detrimental because they're all supposed to be a part of one full story.
Mhm.
So if something has to get cut or we lose something or whatever, how that affects the rest of it could be a snowball effect that like you just can't,
Yeah.
if it doesn't work out, like we might not be able to stop it. You know what I mean? So you know, I didn't talk about it this week, but there are definitely a lot of rumors circulating again that like PlayStation is looking at trying to buy
It is,
WB games.
Mhm.
You know, I don't think they'd ever try to do NetherRealm by itself, but like to get WB games and the studios that they have, I don't think really does you any good because you're not getting the IP with it,
Mhm.
right? So like you have to be able to work that. So many of the things that those studios work on are
All Warner Brothers. They're
yeah,
all
Warner
WB.
Brothers has, right? So it's Harry Potter, and you know, like if you can't, if you get those studios and you don't have the IPs,
What is the
those studios end up becoming backup studios more than likely for studios that Sony already has.
Hmm.
Right? They're gonna end up working on like Marathon, trying to make Marathon work because they've already sunk so much money into Marathon. You know what I mean? Like what else do you do with that? And you don't have them start making something else. So if companies are already pulling away from doing games that are IP based because the IP owners are taking up so much money from them in the license, which is why a lot of them are walking away from Star Wars and they're walking like because it's not worth it.
Mhm.
Then if you do a deal like that, if you can't get that IP tied into it somehow,
Almost.
it's
Yep.
it's moot. It's a moot point. The reality of it is, I think if it wasn't for that, I think it would have already happened. And I'll be honest with you, I think that the only studio that probably honestly is worth buying, that somebody doesn't already have a studio that's like what one of those other studios is doing, is
Mhm.
NetherRealm. That's it. And then you got to get Mortal Kombat.
I figured. I figured. I
Hey, listen,
figured.
I'm not gonna explain to you why it's possible that my Instagram was showing me stuff from Mexico. It's not your business. However, Importing's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like,
It's what it is.
because that's kind of crazy. Although I hope Kayla didn't actually put her shoes on when you yelled at her.
Probably did.
Ready to go get in the car. Like, I don't know, it's gonna be a long trip. Yeah. So flips table and yells about tariffs 100%. Yeah, yell about them tariffs all day. But it's for F1. You know what I mean? It's open wheel. It's pretty serious. I don't know. Might be worth it. Definitely a collector's item.
That it is.
I'm just saying. Listen, I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us this evening. It's been wonderful to have you. We have to play some FBC Firebreak so we can talk about how that is or how it isn't, to be honest. So we're going to get out of here so we can do that. Again, if you can catch us this weekend, by all means do so. Look next Monday for our discussion to drop about Face Off. That was the movie of the month. That's right. Pretty solid discussion. That'll drop for you Monday evening. So yeah, make sure you tune into that, and then we'll see you again on Tuesday.
Facts.
Go. Tell them what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.
Loading snacks.